What's up, nerds? So, watched True Detective last night, and then I went to bed. I was like, oh, I'll record tomorrow and everything. And I'm so far behind today. But anyways, okay. So this latest episode, I have to be honest, they leaned so hard into this supernatural aspect of it that I was a little taken out by it. I don't mind the supernatural aspect, but I don't like it in this show because I feel like the show, and I know a lot of people want to be like, oh, the first season is supernatural stuff element into it. But yeah, but I feel like the first season gave just enough to where you're just like, oh, this is just mumbo jumbo nonsense and everything. And then this one, I feel like it's leaning a little bit more into it, but at the same time, and now I just have so many questions that I'm just like, there's just too many questions. There's just too many questions. And so I just don't know exactly what to think. I mean, I still have my theories, but I don't know. All right. Well, let me break this sucker down, and I'll tell you my thoughts like during and then afterwards. I just want to say I still find the show intriguing. Like I do still want to know what happened to Annie K and those scientists. I'm all like, what really happened and everything. So, all right, let me break it down. I'll explain at the end and everything. But all right, here we go. 7 years prior, Navarro arrests Annie for public damage to the Silver Sky mining factory. However, she allows Annie to continue with her activities as she helps a pregnant woman in giving birth. This moves Navarro, who decides to not arrest her. I actually enjoyed this scene. I like that Navarro let her continue to bring the child into the world. And then when the baby wasn't breathing, I was just like, please let it breathe, please, and everything. Personal reasons, I just found this very almost heartbreaking at a moment and everything, and I liked it, but it was a little high tension for me at during this scene because it would have been really sad if that baby hadn't survived. I would have been really bummed. I'd have been like, I don't want to watch the rest of this episode. I'm upset. Back in present day, Hank brings his hunter friends to help in the search for Clark, despite Navarro's concern that they will dampen the operation. Yeah, so I mean, is this allowed in small towns? You can just bring your friends to go search for, a suspect? I'm like, I don't think that's, I mean, I understand you can deputize people, but those guys just seem very too happy to go look for this dude, this Clark guy, and I'm just like, I wouldn't trust them even if they were my friends. I'd be like, you guys are just too happy right now to go hunt down a suspect. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have had those. Also, when she throws the orange out into the ether and then it rolls back, I thought maybe there was a clang, it hit something and then rolled back, and I'm just like, I swear to God, if it's aliens, I'm going to freak out because I'm not interested in that nonsense at all. Okay. Danvers is informed that Anders Lund, the man in the coma, had his legs removed. When Peter once again asks her about the past with Navarro, she says that they were investigating a man named William Wheeler, a criminal who, with a violent past, he brutally assaulted his girlfriend and then killed her before committing suicide. Okay, so this part, it did give us a little, insight into the past of Danvers and Navarro. And let me just say right now, I'm happy that they did that because I did personally want some information about them. I wanted to know exactly what happened between them in the past. It didn't give us every single thing that we wanted, but it did give me enough to where I go, oh, okay. Because when they walked into that house and that guy was still alive, I was just like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Did Navarro kill him? And then Jodie Foster's character was all like, hey, you shouldn't have done that kind of thing because she said he had committed suicide and he obviously didn't. So you're thinking too, obviously one of them, killed him. And they just said he had committed suicide. So it'll be interesting to see what went on there because I'm just interested in to see. I still am interested in to see because that's the only two characters that I really want to know about their past is Navarro and Jodie Foster's character Danvers. I don't care about anybody else and their story. Navarro blames Danvers for not doing something earlier, which caused her to get transferred to the patrol unit. Again, this was like a good like lie. You know, she blames me because I didn't do anything beforehand. But there's more. There's obviously more there to that story, and we'll find out. But the kid won't find out. Despite their past, Danvers asks Navarro to get involved in the case, which she accepts. So I did like this when they went through all of the evidence and they were going through it, and I liked it. I thought it was very cool to see all that kind of stuff. But and then they found the candid photos where they were like somebody was with them, and I'm like, ooh, who was with them, and everything. But yeah. And then Danvers and Navarro questioned Susan, a friend of Annie, and she reveals that Annie accompanied her to Salal, where she bonded with Clark and asked for their relationship to be kept secret. This part was fine, you know, in terms of like finding out information. You found out that this woman went to she went to the Salal station to cut hair, which I was like, that makes sense. They would need haircuts and they never left. So why not get a hairdresser to come in, cut your hair, you know, once a month or every 3 months or whatnot. And she did say that Annie was obsessed with coming with her to see the Salal station, which I was like, what's going on there? And did Annie befriend that guy just so she could then you know, figure out what was going on? Like, was she really interested in a relationship with him, or did she want to know what was happening at the Salal station, and that's why she got into a relationship with him? Because I'm just interested to see that whole process and what it is that exactly she wanted to go. She said she was like almost obsessed with it. She also reveals that she dated a Salal member named Oliver Tabak, whose name is not mentioned in the company records, and left before Annie's death. I also thought this was like a little bit of like a what kind of thing, because there's another member of the team and he left before Annie died and everything. And then we find out later on that he's not on any of the records, and I'm like, why would he not be on any of the records? That's weird. You don't have an employee on your records, like. I just don't see how that could be or why they would do that. It just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. This was hidden by Hank, so Danvers and Navarro confront him over his negligence. So we're finding out that Hank is a big douchebag. I mean, we knew that before, you know. I mean, he's got his fake Russian bride going on, and he's just been a dickhole the whole time. Which I want to know why. You know, I know people like this that they're just douchebags for no reason. You're like, what happened to you that you've got to be this way? Like, there's no need for it. There's no reason for it. You're just being a dickhole, and I don't understand why. And then to get some information about a murder and just to poo-poo it away, I'm just like, what is that all about? And I did like how Danvers threw the coffee in his face when he was all like, well, maybe I'll put in a report of negligence because you're Mrs. Robinson, my son, and everything. And I was all like, dude, you know, which I want to talk about that later on, Jodie Foster. But I was like, dude, you what? And then I did like how he's like, who's Mrs. Robinson? I was like, you uncultured motherfucker. But I really don't care for that movie, The Graduate. I don't care for that movie very much. I know a lot of people love it, and I'm like, I don't see why, but whatever, it's fine. But yeah, I'm glad that they confronted Hank, because he's just a dick. I hope that Russian bride thing, it will blow up in his face. Or maybe she'll show up and she'll just be like totally gross or something. Danvers gets into a conflict with Leah after she attends an anti-factory meeting, while Navarro finds Julia in the outskirts of the city after a colleague saw her screaming and running away. First off, both these two characters, the sister and the stepdaughter, I don't care about their story. I really don't. I see how it plays into it a little bit, but I just don't care. I thought that Danvers making Leah wipe off the makeup of her hair, like, I get it, but like me and my wife were talking about, like, my mom, okay, so when I was growing up, the whole goth thing was very big. So like you wear all black and you everything, and I wanted to try it, but my mother, she was like, yeah, not doing that goth thing in this house. And my mother put a stop to that real quick. But like my wife brought up that's a part of her heritage, which I was like, that's a good point. I was like, she's very much getting, like, not letting her do things that are a part of her culture, and I found that was kind of, like, unnecessary, you know? I understand she lives under your house, but she wants to know these things, and she wants to learn these things, and I don't think that's a problem, especially, you know, because she's not, like, your biological daughter. However, I do think that both of them could go about their ways a little bit, you know, better. But, you know, what do I know? I'm not raising that child because it's fake, you know. But also, when Leah went to that anti-factory protest, I was all like, yeah, I was like, there's obviously something going on. And I understand that half the town is employed by the factory. But I still think the factory needs to look into the fact that the water's turning black. It's freaking gross. And I think that's really, you know, that's really bad. And then that baby was born stillborn. And I did like when Jodie Foster went to the funeral of the baby, or the wake, you know, and Jodie Foster's lost a kid in this. And you know, when you lose a child, you feel it. And you know, you have almost a simpatico, like a camaraderie with other people that have lost a child. So yeah. As far as Navarro and her sister goes, I still don't care. Her sister is batshit crazy and needs to go into a place. I know she doesn't want to. Nobody wants to go into these places. But I'm sorry. When you're seeing things, and even Aunt Petunia told her, you know, Rose told her, you know, your sister's batshit crazy. She's like, I've got the gift, but your sister, she's batshit crazy. I loved that. I love that she was like, I'm the only one with the gift here. I'm the only one with the gift, okay? Your sister can't have the gift. I've got the gift. Your sister's a mental patient. Love that. Okay. Peter asks his cousin Vince to inspect the bodies as he is a vet, and Vince informs him and Danvers that the 6 researchers died before freezing, and suggests that if they had frozen to death, they would have died peacefully. I also love that they brought in a vet. I mean, I get why they had to do it because it was a time crunch, but I did also like Danvers how she's all like, can you maybe do a little bit? And he's like, Captain Danvers, and she's like, that would be very illegal. I did like that. I was like, she wants to know as much as she can know before they take these bodies away, because she's all like, once they take the bodies away, we'll never get any information about this. And the bodies are very, like, the way when they thaw out, they're creeping me out, like hard, like they're all like, and everything. I'm all like, this is very Ring territory. I'm creeped out. I don't like it. Because I liked how Vince, the cousin, was all like, you have to stare at this shit all day? And I was like, yeah, he does. It's unsettling. I mean, I wouldn't like it. It probably smells weird, too. I just don't know. But when he's like, when you freeze to death, they died before they froze to death. And I was like, interesting. I was like, that's very interesting. Except that one guy didn't die. He dies in the hospital. I was like, so he didn't die in the snow. So I'm all like, that's interesting. I'm interested to see what happens there, because I'm all like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And like I said, I have so many questions, and I have a feeling that I just want them all answered, you know? Danvers and Navarro visit Oliver at a no-bad camp, but he refuses to cooperate and threatens them with a shotgun to leave. This part, it was obvious something was going on with this dude. Like, he knows obviously that there's more there, and I wish we would have gotten a little information from him, but we didn't. But he was all like, they're all dead and everything, and I'm all like, his friends died. Like, I'm pretty sure he got, you know, some kind of camaraderie with them, you know, living there for so long with them before he left. So again, we'll see how that turns out. I do have a feeling he'll show up again. They return to Innis when they receive word that Lund has awakened. Blind, he wails in pain, and he hears a voice in his head. He yells that they woke her and that she hunted them in the dark, claiming she is still there. So this part, I do not like that this episode leaned way further into the supernatural. Like I said before, I do not like the supernatural portion of it. I just don't like it, you guys. I don't like it. It's not real. And Jodie Foster did talk about it a little bit. Danvers did in the show about how, like, it's just not a thing. Like, stop trying to make fetch happen, because it's not a thing. But when he goes, we woke her, I'm all like, and she hunted us in the snow. I'm all like, what do you mean? I'm like, what? Just this woman popped out of a cave like this, and she's like ooga booga and shit, just running around the snow and everything. What's going on here? Like, I'm so confused. I have so many questions Who is she? It's definitely not the Annie K chick. I don't believe in ghosts, so I don't think it's the ghost thing. I'll tell you my theories things, but I don't think it's the ghost thing. It's just so weird and everything. While Danvers leaves to break up a fight in the hallway, Navarro stays with Lund, and Lund suddenly addresses Navarro despite his conditions, claiming that her mother salutes her and that she is waiting for her. So I was curious, like, why the rednecks, she called them, why they started a fight. Like, I'm all like, what's this fight over? Like, what do you have to fight about in this hospital? But then when that dude, the Lund guy, sat up, I was like, oh shit, and he was all like, your mother's here with us. Navarro, she salutes you. She says hi or something. She's waiting for you. I was all like, this is creepy. I don't like it. But and then he just like slams back and dies. And I was just like, okay, great. That's super fun. But I am so confused. But I'm intrigued though. I want to know what happens. I'm gonna watch the next episode. I want to know what happens. Peter tells Danvers and Navarro that he unblocked Annie's cell phone, which contains a video recorded by a scared Annie claiming to have found something in a cave. Suddenly, she is grabbed by something and screams. So that's where the episode ends, and when she's in that cave, again, what did they awaken in the cave? I swear to Christ, if it's aliens, I'm gonna be upset. Like, I'm just gonna be annoyed if it's aliens. Like, I guess I don't believe in aliens either, but I did think it was interesting when she's like, we woke it up, I'm so scared and everything, and she's like, and everything. So I am interested to see what else is on her phone, because she's got to have more on her phone, right? We've got to know more next episode. We'll see it is. Okay, so that's my breakdown. So my review overall. I didn't, this was just a huge exposition dump, which I do appreciate, because I do want to know what's happening, and I did want to know the flashbacks. I still want to know exactly what happened between Danvers and Navarro in the past. But as far as the other characters go, I just don't care about them. I don't care about her, the guy, what's his name? Peter. I don't care about him and his wife's problems with him being a cop and her trying to be a nurse. I don't care about the stepdaughter. I don't care about the crazy sister. I don't even care about Rose. I don't care about any of that crap. I just want to know about Danvers and Navarro and their past situation, and then the situation going forward with the Annie K part and the scientist. That's all I want to know. But at the same time, I get it. It's a show. I get it. But I am intrigued. Okay. Now, as far as acting goes, everybody overall is doing a good job. I didn't see any acting that I was just like, you suck. So good job on everybody. But Jodie Foster, in the two main, I'm going to talk about the two mains. Jodie Foster is killing it. Let me just tell you out right now. Her character, first off, both the characters, the main characters, I still don't like them. I just find them to be unlikable people as characters. But the two actresses are doing a good job. Jodie Foster is, again, she's knocking it out of the park. I mean, we knew she would, but she's knocking it out of the park because, and then I love how her character is just fucking everything within, a 500-mile radius. Like, she's all like, I liked the scene where she's all like, I'm on Tinder. What do you do when you're lonely? She's all like, she's like, I go out to whatever, and she's like, I don't fuck where I eat and everything. She's like, not anymore. And I was like, that's a good one, because she's been fucking everybody in that town. Like, she's like fucking men's husbands, all this stuff, and I'm all like, yeah, you're a big whore. Like, I mean, I am slut shaming, but you're a big whore. So, I mean, own it, honey. Like, that's how it is. I get it. You've got trauma. But Jesus Christ, like, calm it down. Can't you just get a boyfriend? Just like one dude that you fuck every now and every weekend? Like, is that just not a thing? Your one booty call? Like, come on. And I do want to see, because then Navarro, she has that she slips on the ice because she sees somebody's out there, and then she slips on the ice and she has that vision, which again, I don't think was supernatural. And then the little boy's hand, I couldn't tell what he said, and you tell me if you heard what he said down below. But like, at first I heard protect my mom, then I heard tell my mom, and then I heard something about, where's my mom? And I'm all like, I don't know what this little kid's saying. I really don't. I didn't turn on the closed captions. I don't think that's a thing on Max. Can you turn on closed captions? I didn't even think about that. But yeah, all right, Navarro, Callie Reis. She's doing a good job also. She's playing this tough girl. I liked it when she went and visited her boyfriend, not her boyfriend, and he's all like, I'll find the information about the guy, Oliver, if you tell me something about, if you give me information about you. And then he asks about her mom, and she talks about her mom and how they lived in Boston and then they left because their dad beat them and came back there and never left. And her mom just like went out into, she was murdered also, but she went out into the snow and never came back. I liked also when she was talking to Danvers, and Danvers all like, what do you do when you're alone? She's like, I pray. And she's like, oh, you pray and everything? What, do you just like talk to God? And she's like, no, I listen. And I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so good, you know, because when we do pray, we talk to God. And I mean, like, listen, I just want to say I do believe in God. I do. Because if I didn't, then I told the wind a lot of secrets, you guys. Like, a lot. And I'm just talking to myself like a crazy person, you know? Like Navarro's sister, you know? I haven't seen dead people, though. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, so theories, you guys. I still think it's the water. Because the water has been the water, the water is a big thing here. And I do think that it's a big thing. I think that we've got just I think it's just causing delusional stuff. And I do think that they got some kind of microorganism or bacteria from the snow, and it somehow got into the water, and that's what, and the scientists, because they were so close to it, they got the full effect of it, and the water is just making people, you know, hallucinate a little bit. That's still my theory. I also think maybe they're going the aliens route, and if that's the thing, and this turns into the thing, I'm going to be very annoyed. I do not want that shit. I also don't like the supernatural thing. I don't like that. The thing I like about this show is it's grounded in reality, and I know people want to keep bringing up season 1. I didn't think season 1 was supernatural. I thought that was all hallucination-based and everything. So we'll see how this turns out. I'm just interested to see where the show goes, you know, and we'll see if it turns out to have any meat, or if it's just like a complete dud. Like at the end, I'm just going to be like, if I tell you right now, if that's that final episode, I'm just like, wah, wah, wah. I'm going to be annoyed as hell. All right, you guys. But tell me what you guys thought about this episode, you know, and what your theories are. You can go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know, I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on my next breakdown and review of True Detective. You guys have a good week. Bye.